Hey, good morning, everyone. Something to say. Sorry, we have some little technical difficulties, some glitches. Hope you can join us this morning. Sure, it's a lot to talk about this week. As we're going to the 50th day, uh, coming up on the 50th day of the new administration. Um, Kenneth, I don't know really what you want to talk about. I know what I want to talk about, but you are live, cool. But the administration is getting a lot of pushback from the courts about things they can and can't do. I thought earlier this week, the Doge decided they want to go into the um, department that gives aid to Africa, and they took a picture of the two little young. Man, I don't want to call them young punks, but I, I just we need we man, it seems to me that we need some young hackers on our side. He's taking these young guys in there to make these decisions. Really, what he's taking them in there to do is to download all the information really quick because they're computer geniuses. And the question is, for me, is where's the pushback? So, um, what I am going to say today is I'm going to talk about a couple of things. My first thing is last night I went to and Diana, my cousin, called me and said, "Hey, did you know Hakeem Jeffries was at Friendship Baptist Church last night?" She's like, "He's here now. Why don't you come up?" So me and my wife jumped in the car and went up to see Hakeem Jeffries. And what he did was he solidified my belief. This is like the fourth meeting that I've been to, whereas we had some elected official or semi-quasi-elected official giving a meeting. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, they don't know what to do. Their sense of urgency in this situation, and they had people who came out. They had quite a few people who came out to Friendship Baptist Church on a Friday night. This is how dedicated those people are. They came out on a Friday night to see Hakeem Jeffries at about, it had to be 7:30. Maybe he started at 6:30. No, he started like 7 and had a pretty good audience on a Friday night in downtown Atlanta. And I don't think any of those people left there motivated. Matter of fact, the questions he talked. I mean, he's a good speaker. Don't get me wrong. But then after he took questions, I guess that have been given from the audience and written down, he had a constituents, and I'm first of all want to say I didn't stand up and say something. We had another guy jump up and say, basically, what are y'all asking us to do? If you're asking us to come to the Capitol, we'll do it. Is this all for naught? But we're out here protesting. And I was in the audience sitting behind the columnist Charles Blow, listening to him talk about some of the stuff. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, same thing I've been thinking at all these places I've been, all these meetings I've been to. Where's your sense of urgency? Where's your sense of urgency? And he started talking about, which he had a point, 2017, and how they were way more underwater in the Congress than they are right now. And what I was thinking is, dude, I was back there in 2017. This don't feel nothing like 2017. This feels way worse. This feels way worse than 2017. So where's your sense of urgency? Where's your marching orders? None of them gave us marching orders in any of those meetings I went to. None of them said, I need y'all to get out into the street. This is an existential threat. And I need y'all to shut this shit down. None of them. He didn't do it last night. After the guy said it, he's like, no, we think if Diners comes on and my wife was on, I think what he said was, no, we need y'all to keep protesting. We need you to keep doing these things. But he didn't call for it. He did not call for it. He did not call for it. And he said, I know people are anxious. My feeling on, no, people aren't anxious. People don't feel protected. People don't feel protected by these Democrats. They don't feel like you're willing to punch these son of a bitches back in the face. That's to me is the core of it. We don't feel protected. We don't. And as my wife pointed out, he came on a Friday. The leader of the Democrats came on a Friday to Friendship Baptist Church. Not one other member of the Democratic delegation was there. Not one. So I'm gonna say it again. It's either existential or it's not. Matter of fact, I think what the guy said was, how do you propose that we protect our judges who are issuing these orders who are going to start getting pushback? And yeah, they are playing possum defense. And I apologize to you all because as I told Diana, she's like, why didn't you say anything? I said, I didn't want to break protocol. And I got to be willing to break protocol because this is the second time I've been to a meeting that I was screaming inside and didn't stand up and say anything. Because for one, they didn't take any questions for the audience per se. In other words, you could raise your hand and give you the mic. But they don't seem to have any sense of urgency. As a matter of fact, Kenneth, what he did say, because I'm remembering bits and pieces, that there's going to be somebody that comes out of the people, if I'm correct. And I don't know if Diana's on here, that's going to lead us. And by the time we get 228, what the fuck? What?
Okay.
And I know that Hakeem Jeffries has a sense of protecting the people, that he understands, as I heard somebody on TikTok say once, sometime, the efficacy of perceived violence. This is how I know he knows it. Leader Jeffries, Kenneth, got a big brother who you look at him, Kenneth, and he speaks violence, protecting him. Like, if I was to approach the stage and I thought that he thought I was any type of threat, he would step forward real quick with the thought to me, with the ability to get across to me, this juice ain't worth the squeeze. You feel what I'm saying? He's there to protect the leader, the Democratic leader, with violence if necessary, which is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be able to project. You can jump up on this stage if you want to, but you're gonna have a real problem. He projects, we're not looking for no smoke, right? But jump up on this stage and it's gonna be a real quick fire. So he understands it, but he don't understand how to project it for us, the people. And he got a problem if he can't. Because all those people there were people who I would think that we would get, they're empathetic, they understand what's happening, they're anxious. All those people who showed up, white people, black people, it was a mixed crowd. Kenneth, think about it, Kenneth, at Friendship in a predominantly black neighborhood. And you know, and we both know, we can say this, and ain't a whole bunch of people coming over to Vine City, English Avenue, white at night.
Except for those that live over there.
Except for those that live over there.
Well,
and
listen,
I
apologize for eating y'all, but I'll explain later at the end of the show. Anyway.
Man, this ain't nobody paying attention to you eating. Eat all you want. You can smack on this show.
What I think, I've been giving Hakeem Jeffries the benefit of the doubt, mainly because part of his problem is he is a black man. And I told somebody this years ago that one time I was teaching. I taught elementary school 1 year. I told a couple of academic coaches and a couple of academic coaches. One was a black woman, one was a white woman, and there was another lady, a white lady in there as well. And the black lady was talking about how she had classroom management, would talk to her kids and all that. And I said, and she gave an example. I said, I can say the exact same thing to those kids in the exact same tone you just said it, and they will go home and tell their parents that I'm bullying them. He has that problem, that black man perception problem. And he's trying to, the brother's from Brooklyn, okay? He's trying to be diplomatic, and I know he's angry, and they're trying to come up with a solution where he doesn't come off as an angry black man. And at this point, we need an angry black man.
Can I say something that he said to that, what you just said? I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that. He said, he said that in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, where hip hop was born, we got a saying that goes, "Don't let them chase you off the block." That's and he was talking about going to the speech where Al Green got put out. And I'm sitting there thinking, no, in every black neighborhood now, you and Michael, who grew up in different neighborhoods than I grew up in Augusta, not only are you not going to push us off the block, you ain't coming in on our block to terrorize us because you're going to get your ass whooped. Period. So that I wanted to address that. Now I'll address something else that he said. Go ahead.
Therein lies the problem. You have some Democrats, those young, as I like to call them the Thundercats in the Democratic Party, Congressional Democratic Party, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, a couple of others. They just don't give a damn. That's pretty much what it is. But you have those in the leadership, the older crew that's been there for years, some of them decades, are trying to take a more measured approach. Now, what Al Green did, even though what he did was, in my opinion, wasn't even that big of a deal, at least he stood up and said something. And for what I have a problem with Hakeem Jeffries with is the biggest problem I have with him in this thing is he was telling the Democrats, don't act out at this at the speech. Don't act out. Have some decorum. No, it's time to act out. It's time to act a fool. It is time to disrupt every little thing, every big thing, everything that they come up with. Disrupt that shit. Make them motherfuckers feel like they can't get nothing done because they ain't trying to get nothing done. The budget resolution that they're trying to come up with to extend
The tax cut,
provide funds to for the government through April. They can't pass that without Democrats. Now, I'll say this: if he's smart, and I kind of think he is, you remember the dichotomy of you had Malcolm on one side and
Martin.
King on the other. I kind of think that's what they're doing. You have the young Thundercats, the Democratic Party, at least in the congressional party.
Who's the Malcolm? Who's the Malcolm? Who's the Malcolm?
Crockett, AOC. They're the ones out there being vocal, saying things, and then you have the others working behind the scenes, doing a little something and all that. Because as I've said this hundreds of times, I don't even know how many times, 100 times since we've been doing this show. We need people coming from all points of view, all coming from everywhere, coming to a place. As long as we meet at the same place at the same time, then everything is okay. So we need those on the inside. We need those agitators on the outside, or even though they're still on the inside. But we need the agitators and we need the ones that's being strategic behind the scenes, doing things. We need both of them. And the only problem is you have too many of them trying to be on the inside and not be on the outside and be the agitators. And the Democratic Party is being perceived as not doing anything. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be real honest with you. This is he said it was like 2017. This is new territory, period. I'm a student of history. I teach history all the time. Ain't no shit ever like this ever happened. Not to this level. Now you have had presidents who thought that they were kings or tried to have king-like powers and all that. You did have that. Andrew Jackson was one of them. Matter of fact, the newspapers at that time, they did a political cartoon with Andrew Jackson with a crown on his head. They called it Jacksonian democracy. So all of that stuff being said, that part is not new. But the level of what they're doing, and I think the most the two biggest parts of what the administration is doing that's the most harmful, not to us personally and to our economy, is firing people. And then on the back end, you got what's his name, stealing money, misappropriating funds.
Before you go into that, can I say something just basic? Just basic. That I know you're gonna relate. That I know you're gonna relate to. That I know Michael's gonna relate to. Optics of what you're willing to stand for goes a long way in the morale of your base. So Michael played for Josie. I played for Glen Hills. And if we beat Josie, it's one thing for us to beat him. It's another thing for us we beat him for me to walk up in Michael's face and be talking trash. That's gonna be a problem. Because Josie's
hold on. Now you know damn well that's a part of the game. That's a part.
It's like being on.
Hold on. If you know Michael personally, you gonna talk shit.
I am. But listen to what I'm saying. It's the shit talking with no retaliation that's gonna make Michael seem like, oh shit, you won, but now you talking trash. I got to get back on the court. And I'm saying that to say, let me tie it together. I'm saying that to say that they never do anything publicly to say they have one another's backs. And the people that they have, he named a couple of people last night. For instance, let me give you my instantaneous thing from the speech on. I didn't watch the speech. I just saw some of the Twitter clips. So I refuse to give the guy anymore. But when the Republican congressman snatched that thing out of that Democratic lady's hand, not one Democratic male walked over to him and said to him, "We're not tolerating that shit. Do that shit again." Because that was an act of violence. That was an act of violence.
That thing right there, that stuff right there, the Democratic Party needs somebody, and I thought John Fetterman would be that. Somebody that's going to be that enforcer. John Fetterman has turned out to be some big ass punk. He really is. I don't know if he just worried about keeping his job as a senator, but he talked a lot of shit before he got into office, and he's sitting there basically bending over for Trump and his supporters. Well, let's give him a chance, motherfucker.
And dogging us.
Huh?
And dogging us.
Yeah. Like, let's give him a chance. Motherfucker, he had chances. He's taking this shit to a whole new level. So, like I said, I thought Fetterman was going to be that. He talked a big game before he got it with his big ass, his big 6'7" ass, talked all that shit, and then got in there and turned out to be a big ass punk.
Man, what he said last night.
I would say this.
I agree.
What's the one from the Bronx that got voted out? His name starts with a B.
Bowman. Jamal Bowman.
He would have said something.
He would have said something. And
right.
and
I he would have said something.
The optics of you not protecting the women who are fighting, the optics damages the morale to your base. And I don't think he gets that. Like, he talked about why people came up to the thing. I mean, I'm going to give him some credit. He was trying to keep it as real as he could. I just don't know if the people they have are the people for the job. Like he said, Jamie Raskin. I love Jamie Raskin. I don't love Jamie Raskin when it comes getting into a knife fight. I love that he gets on TV and talks about policy. I love it when he said, I don't get it when I love Adam Schiff. I don't get it from Adam Schiff that he gonna come to it with a knife fight.
See, that the problem is the Democratic Party has too many people who are policy wonks. People who know policy up and down, back and forth, can recite it in their sleep, all of that stuff. They have that.
Yes, Harry, that's where we're going. Go ahead.
They don't have anybody who's going to break it down where people can understand it. And I say this, when I teach, I call myself a political whisperer for my students, government whisperer. I take the stuff that the government says and put it in a language and a style that they can understand, that they can relate to. Democratic Party doesn't have anybody doing that. No man, anyway. Now you have AOC coming out. Jasmine Crockett does it. Oh, what's her name? Sister from Massachusetts, Presley. She does it.
That's the white lady from New Mexico. The white lady from New Mexico who they snatched the sign out. Oh yeah, she's been on it last couple of weeks.
I used to give what is it? Talib, I think that's her name.
Yeah, from Detroit.
Yeah, I used to give her props, but she started that bullshit of with the Muslims in Detroit not voting and Michigan not voting, and that helped us to get into this mess that we're in. I have no respect for her anymore, none whatsoever, because of the stance that she took with that. But in terms of that's what the Democratic Party needs. They need somebody that's going to break something down. Need several somebodies. Jasmine, those people I named, they will do it. But the problem is the Democratic Party won't put them out there, and they won't have anybody having their back. Now, I'll say this. Jasmine Crockett, they'll go after AOC, but ain't nobody fucking with Jasmine Crockett. Have you noticed that when she says something, she immediately, somebody said something about her or a response or something, she immediately cussed them at the knees. She is vicious with her words and will say it with a smile on her face in the most intelligent manner possible. If you need her to get ghetto, she will get ghetto too. And that's what the Democratic Party needs. They need more people to do that. If you want to reach the people and get them to back you on what you're trying to do, everybody in the party can't be diplomatic. Everybody in the party can't be a policy wonk. You need a motherfucker. That's what you need.
Wait. So here we go. Here go the men. Here go the men in the Black Caucus. The men. Kwame and Fume, who used to be that guy. I don't know what's going on with him. Richie Torres out of New York, who is a young guy.
He's probably about 70-something, almost 80 years old.
But Richie Torres is a young guy. I think Ralph has been doing a good job of what he does. Troy Carter, Ralph Warnock. Troy Carter, Don Davis out of North Carolina, the young boy out of Florida, Glenn Ivey out of Maryland, Jonathan Jackson out of Illinois. Where are the other brothers at? Gabe Amo out of where is he? Rhode Island. Representative Wesley Bell out of Missouri, an attorney who got put out because he was the attorney that ran against our girl. Remember, she lost. She was brought to Progressive Caucus. What was her name? The former nurse. Corey Bush. Yeah, Corey Bush. You came in to be a pussy. Herb Conway is older. I'm not. Cleo Fields, who looks fairly young. Shamari Figures out of Alabama, who just got there. I understand why he might be a little hesitant. Sylvester Turner just died. You got Cory Booker, who I'm sorry, but Cory just don't move people the way they need to move. Joe Neguse, who's out of Colorado. Stafford Horsford out of Nevada. Those are the young guys. Not one of them dudes. Not one of those dudes.
Yeah, Greg Meeks from Queens. I know Greg Meeks. I was
Greg
there.
Meeks. Mark Vesey.
Congress.
Mark Vesey from Texas. Okay. And Hakeem Jeffries. Not one of those dudes. Not one.
Like I said, you have some of them are the fact that they're so well. Of course, you got the young guys who are just the 25-year-old and somebody else that's young. You need somebody in some that's been there for a while, know the game, to speak the game. And
those dudes that you just named, I agree. Those dudes need to sit their ass in the back and counsel the young dudes. And the young dudes need to be out there like they're some soldiers and say, hey, we don't want no smoke. Let's just talk neighborhood. But if you bring some smoke to our women,
in there when you've been in Congress, think, 4 terms or maybe 6. When you've been in the House for 6 terms, 4 or 6 terms, you get a pension for the rest of your life.
That's right.
So and all of them, if not all of them, majority of them are in extremely safe districts. So they can go out there and talk the shit. They can talk the shit.
But they won't.
The older ones are so established, and so I don't know. They just need, and I'm honest with you. They need a motherfucker up there. The Democrats need a motherfucker. They need somebody that's gonna walk up to them, and when they start talking shit, look at them and say, "Who the hell you think you're talking to? Watch your mouth. Don't talk to her like that. You damn sure not gonna talk to me like that. What is wrong with you? I know we in Congress, but you done lost your goddamn mind." That's what they need, because I'll say this. One thing about, and I'll probably get in trouble if somebody sees this. One thing about my students, I will joke around my students all the time, but I also get on them. I get on them hard. I protect them, and they realize that I actually care about them. Those students will protect me. So if you got somebody out there that's going to be outspoken and say, "This is what we need," I don't know who the hell you think you're talking to, all this stuff, they can censure them all they want. Censure don't mean shit.
Yeah, he said that last night.
Yeah,
he said
it don't mean shit.
It ain't worth the paper is written on.
Right. Now fuck a censure. And if too, when they went up there and started singing "We Shall Overcome," no, that's the wrong song. We way past "We Shall Overcome." No, we up to "Nuck If You Buck," "Nuck If You Buck."
Yeah, we already overcame. We already overcame. We not letting you take.
Yeah,
we not letting you take.
Phase. That's what we are, and that's what he should have said.
That right.
You know, I understand Al Green, almost 80 years old and all that, but they should have had somebody stand up and start spewing some shit, some Biggie shit, some Tupac shit, some shit like that. Let the motherfuckers know, hey, you fucking with the wrong one. You're about to fuck around and find out. Because once you leave this motherfucking place, I will kick your ass up and down motherfucking Pennsylvania Avenue. Who the fuck you think you talking to? That's what they need.
You got the black males, and like I said, he talked about this last night. Diana, correct me if he talked about, you know, Republicans are performative because when they're not off cameras, they're saying certain things. That's fine. Then maybe the Democrats ought to be performative. But my belief last night, it was strengthened last night, is that because, again, how's the leader of the Democratic Party in Atlanta and Hank Johnson wasn't there? I don't care what y'all got to do.
I've been saying that for years.
That's never been. My point being, that says a lot about our party, because I don't care what you had to do. If your leader of your caucus comes to Georgia, to the most important city in the South for African Americans, you need to be there backing him up, saying that you were one. I don't care if you had a recital. I don't care if you had a basketball game. It's either existential or it's not. And like I said, there was quite a few people out there, more than what I thought was going to be out there. Well, I thought it should be more, but when I got in, I was like, it's Friday night. These are committed folks. These are the people that you asked to get into the street. These are the people who are willing to protect you. And the guy said that to him. What do you need from us? You know, and he didn't turn around and say, and Diana tell you, I was frustrated because she got on my case. Leonard, you should have stood up and said something. So I was trying to follow protocol. You're not asking us to get in the streets. You're not asking us. And the guy said, if you tell us to show up at one of those federal buildings, I promise you, people are going to show up. If you tell 10,000 to 100,000 people to show up to those federal buildings, don't let them in the buildings, I promise you, people are going to show up. And that's the case. That's the case. But if you don't put their heads on a swivel, I've been saying this, nobody on our side is asking for violence. But they have shown that they will use violence to push forward their political means. And that's why they're doing stuff like snatching papers out of women's hands on national television.
Oh, so I'm going to respond to something that Diana said.
Go ahead.
Diana, that's not necessarily thug talk. That's real men talk. Let's be real. That's real men talk. They ain't about talking like a thug, because I can say the exact same thing to somebody and not use one damn curse word, and they will feel just as threatened. They will understand my message. So you don't necessarily have to use profanity or anything like that, but
Like
you
me.
do have to stand up. You got to do it. You
You
can't
got to
just
do it. You got to
it
do it.
you
And
know.
we can't expect y'all to do it. There's it's certain physical presence that other men have to feel from the men on this side to say, hey man, don't do that again. And they have been doing this. This decorum broke down with "you lie." We all remember it. You lie. We all remember it. And in that moment, somebody should have walked over to Joe from South Carolina and said, hey man, you goddamn interrupt this president one more time against decorum, all hell gonna break out over here. But they've been pushing this fence for the last, since that day in 2000, whatever that was, 2012 through 2012, when Obama gave that State of the Union speech, and they've been doing it. Now you got Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor jumping up, screaming at President Biden, and you're gonna talk to us about decorum? You cannot talk just because you don't think you're in a war doesn't mean the other side doesn't feel they're in one and they're trying to bring it to your doorstep.
And the thing is this: sometimes you gotta take an L to let people know you mean business.
You mean business. I've been saying that for a while.
If you fight, I had somebody tell me recently, an adult. He said, "Man," and he's small. He said, "Man, I fought all the time because everybody thought because I was small I wasn't gonna fight." He said, "I lost fights." He said, "I won some, but everybody I fought with knew that they was in a fight." And that's what the Democrats need. They need somebody that's gonna stand up and say, "Listen, I may lose this fight, I may lose this battle, but damn it, you're gonna know you was in a fight. You're gonna look when you go home, you're gonna feel just as bad as I do."
Dinah, I agree with you when you say it's on us. And I think that you and I agree and Colette agreed when we walked out of there that what he said, the last thing that he said, if I remember correctly, was y'all need to keep doing what y'all doing. And we talked about this walking out, and I was like, so he's telling us that he wants this to be grassroots. And that's fine. That okay, it could be grassroots. And he's saying that it's a leader that's going to come out of that grassroots movement. That honestly, the more I thought about it, why am I paying him? If you can't do something simple like tell your Democratic congressman from Georgia, I'm gonna be in town, and every time I touch ground in any town in the South that has more African Americans, and I was quite a few white people there last night. Let me be clear. So they want to hear him speak. You can't tell, and there's a white dude that said, what do you want us to do? You can't give y'all haven't thought about marching orders? I'm just like, yeah. You can't be stomping with the big dogs like pissing like a puppy. They damn sure should have said that.
Part of the problem with them is this: this is uncharted territory. Seriously, uncharted territory. Nobody. The closest they've ever come to anything like this was when I think it was Andrew Johnson, right after the Civil War. He fired the Secretary of Defense, what they call the Secretary of the War Department, and Congress impeached him. But the only problem is we don't have it. Congress is not going to do anything. They're not going to do it because the Republicans run the House and the Senate, so they can't impeach Trump. They can't, and the Republicans won't even try to or at least publicly, won't criticize Muskie because they're scared of Trump. Now, privately, from what I understand, they're doing it. But publicly, their word because they don't want to get primary, which I'm thinking. So your job, and this is the other thing that I don't understand with Republicans and Democrats. Your job is to represent the people. People in your district, and damn near every district in this congressional district in this country, federal workers are losing their jobs in mass. I mean, that's no secret. And you're sitting there supporting the guy who's who's cutting all these jobs. You're praising him, and
Yes, they
you
did.
got Mr. Johnson over there, who was a Republican, just lost his job that he's been working at for 9 months, a job he had been trying to get for over 2 years because he had to go through security clearance and all that. And he just lost his job that he's only had for 9 months and ain't done nothing wrong. And he voted for this shit. And you don't think that's going to haunt you?
You talking about the guy at Toledo? Yeah, the guy, the former mayor of Toledo, who was head of the armed services.
I mean, Republicans in Congress are sitting back, allowing this to happen. They're not, instead of them stepping out publicly and saying this shit is wrong, they're squeaking like little baby mice in private. Hey, Elon, can you stop doing this? That's really, you're hurting us.
I think
this is what Democrats need to step up and say, listen, Congressman so-and-so, this is your boy doing this. Your constituents are losing their jobs. Unemployment rate is going up tremendously.
They are doing that.
Being lost a week. So what?
You got some Democrats doing that. I think they need
to be shouting that. They need to be every day. A different Democrat needs to be holding a press conference talking about this every single day. You ain't got to have a crowd with you. Listen, hey, I'm holding a press conference today and say the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. Exaggerate. God damn it, lie. That's what they need to do.
You and I only disagree on that part, and I think this. I think they should do exactly what you said they should do. I think that 70-something million people voted for that lady. And I think that guy last night, I wish I got his name, that we heard. I think that guy last night said it. The weapon that you have is the people. All you got to do is turn the people on.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is tell the people to show up. All you have to do is tell the people to show up. I don't know. I'm going to talk about what Marion said, because he and I've had this conversation before. Because Diana went out and asked, I think she told me she asked one of the ladies behind her, hey, do you motivate the ladies? Like, not really. I didn't really get any motivation. Because they are not giving us an ask. This is the 4th time that I went to a meeting and I thought, man, y'all not giving an ask. What is the problem? Y'all not telling us to get in the street. What is the problem? Y'all not doing it with a sense of urgency. You done said existential, that now folks don't believe you because you're not acting like it's existential. But it's existential to me because I got 2 granddaughters. It's existential. So act like it's existential, which means that, hey, you're going to tour the country. You got the resources. You're going to tour the country. You're going to get to Louisiana with Gary Chambers and say, hey, man, how do we turn on the black voting base? Because there's enough white people willing to follow. There's a whole bunch of white people. Like I said last night, if that was any indication, half of the people there were white. But you got to be willing to turn them on. You got to be willing. And y'all don't have a plan. And I keep screaming these Democratic state representatives of ours because I'm from Georgia and I'm like, what's the plan? But Dinah, you right. Because last night he kind of said it. That if I heard him correctly, the leader's going to come from, we're going to try to hold on to 2026 in the midterms and hopefully we'll have this figure. What?
Well, see, that's the thing. We go back existential, unprecedented, all of that. But old school methods of just going out there and talking to people work just as well. They work just as well. And that's what they need to do. They just need to be out there talking. Every time, like I said, every day, some different member of the Democratic Party has a press conference. After every session, you walk out, every congressional session, every congressional hearing or meeting, committee meeting, walk out and get in front of a mic and say something. Even if it's just, man, I don't believe what they're doing in there. We trying to get people hope and get them jobs and all this and all that, and they in there talking about cutting more stuff.
No. Whoa. They ain't talking.
Well, but see, that's the point I'm trying to make. Well, let's say they're sitting here trying to put legislation in place to end Medicaid over and over and over again. You remember when Obamacare first came out? When it first came out, and one of the Republicans started talking about, "Oh, that's a death squad for grandma. They gonna decide how to end grandma's life." Remember they said that? Next thing you know, that every Republican was saying that shit. Every single one of them was saying that shit, even though they knew that shit was not true. But they said it over and over again. I've said this for years, and I'm gonna keep saying, Americans, for all intents and purposes, we have a dumbass, and I do mean a dumbass electorate. They hear something, they'll do no research on it and just follow it. And in today's society, where you have people who find a meme and this makes sense to me, and next thing you know, that shit goes viral, and the shit is not even true. It's not true. So if the Democrats want to be effective, they want to be effective, go out there every single day and talk shit.
I think I'm gonna add on to that. I'm gonna tell you what I think Democratic base is looking for, and this is an old thing. If the Congressional Black Caucus and Jamie Mullen, Jamie Raskins, and Lita Jeffries are not willing to go out and stand up and put their bodies on the line and willing to go to jail, like those civil rights leaders, those ministers did from the 50s, you have got to be willing to say, I'm willing to go to jail. They have not put their bodies on the line. I've seen not one mugshot of Elizabeth Warren or anybody saying, y'all not coming into USAID. Y'all not even going to get into the Department of Education. We will shut these doors down. We have not one of us, not any of us, like Diana said, Israel, when he tried to change that judiciary, and we got all our problems so much with Israel, those people came out for weeks to shut that shit down. They said they weren't letting Netanyahu do shit with that judiciary. They were not going to be ruled by a king. When South Korean president pulled that stuff earlier this year, them people showed up hundreds of thousands to say, you're not doing a goddamn thing because you can't arrest all of us. So we're going to have to dare them if this is what their plan is now. I think some people are worried about if you do that, he's going to declare martial law, which gives him more power. But the South Korean president tried to declare martial law too. Martial law only works when the people make the decision that they're going to follow martial law. If we think that we're going to get something out of this by not being uncomfortable, what they are doing, they are not talking. Right now, they're talking about taking out they got to take out $400 billion out of Social Security to pay for this tax cut. And we haven't had one Republican senator. I have no faith in none of them because I truly believe that they all are getting a part of the cut. That's my belief. They all are getting part of the cut. $400 billion is a lot of money. It can pay a lot of people. But until we get some people, and I put it on the Black Caucus, the men in the Black Caucus, because man, hey, I'm sorry that you were born black. I'm sorry that we got to bear this burden in America. I'm sorry. Who wants to bear it? But you got to. All those people I named, you got to. I don't see those people anywhere. I don't see for me not to know. I know David Scott. I've seen Gregory Meeks, but these young dudes, Bobby Scott, James Clyburn, I think they need to go sit down. Sanford Bishop, I'm not expecting anything from him. Older. These young dudes, Al Green did his job. Who else I said? Andre Carson out of Indiana. Hey, man, I'm sorry. This is the battle you took on. Hakeem, this battle you took on. Mark Beasley out of Texas. This is the battle you took on. Cory Booker, this is the battle you took on. You got these salaries. What are we talking about? $194,000 a year? You've been chilling. Now you got to earn your keep. And if you don't want to get into a knife fight, get the hell out the way. Get the hell out the way. You don't want to get into a knife fight. Who wants it? Nobody wants it. It's here.
But they have to show some type of fight, period.
You got to. You can't let nobody snatch no paper out of no Democratic female congressperson out of their hand throw it in the air, and that goes without any pushback from any male on that floor. You can, whether you like her or not. You just can't do it. Somebody should have went right over there and grabbed him by his tie, pushed him off, grabbed his hand, and said, "Don't do that shit again." They have destroyed the decorum of the house, not us.
One thing, shit, glitching. Okay, I'm back. I was glitching there for a second.
Ain't nobody scared of them 1,500 parties.
When he,
I don't know one person.
We need to, the Democratic Party needs to just start show that they care about the people. And it starts with language. It's just that simple, language. You don't have to have reinvent the wheel. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this. When they go home, because almost every congressional person in Congress, U.S. Senate and the House of Representatives, every Friday they fly home. Just about every Friday they fly home, unless something's going on or they go somewhere else. But they fly home. Every Democrat every weekend should have a town hall meeting, 2 hours, and then go to the Republican-led districts and have town hall meetings. Let the people vent. Let them vent. When they start, when they say, "Well, it's all Democrats," well, no, it ain't our fault. We ain't running nothing. The economy was good. Y'all wanted somebody who was gonna get rid of people who were here quote unquote illegally. Now you're dealing with the consequences of all the other stuff you got going on. You sitting here yelling at me, but I'm not the one that's doing this. The guy you elected, the guy you voted for did this. Now, where we go from here? I'm trying to offer you solutions. You want a solution or you want to yell at me? Because if you want to yell, I'll sit here and listen, but you're still going to be in the same spot. Go in there and start talking to them like that. Don't leave like the punk ass Republicans did. Don't do that shit. Don't leave. Sit there, take notes. You ain't really got to take no fucking notes. Just act like you're taking notes. Write down some shit every once in a while. Okay, all right. Now, what's the solution? Why? Let me give you my solution. This is what my vision is on how to get in this problem. Let's do this, that, and the other thing. Put it out there. Criticize them in their own districts. Well, he's Congressman so-and-so voted for this. Senator so-and-so voted for this. I even lie. I had a conversation with him the other day and said, "You don't want to do this." Lie about that shit. People want to hear that. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear a lie. So lie. Just lie to them. I had a conversation with him about it the other day. I tried to convince him. What they gonna come out? I ain't never talked to him. We did have a conversation. Make them look bad because they're good at making us look bad. So make them look bad. Use their own words and actions against them. That's how you get back control of the House. That's how you get control of the Senate. And hopefully, if they put up the right candidate, that's how you get control of the White House. Unfortunately, we done lost control of the Supreme Court. But even the Supreme Court is starting to get some backbone. Because Barrett and Roberts, slapped Trump down yesterday, which was surprising to me, actually. It's quite surprising. But they sided with the liberals on the court to, and I forgot which one of those things, basically telling him he can't fire somebody or we're not going to get involved. The lower court's already ruled. What they said is actually how the Constitution works. You can't do that, blah, 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 and all this. Now, how long she stays on the right side of history is one thing. But at least in that particular case, she was on the right side of history. And I think I'm so. One thing I say this: Roberts and Barrett are starting to regret that Supreme Court decision that basically said that basically gave Trump all this power. Basically, he can do whatever he wants to do. They started to regret that because nobody saw this coming. I mean, really and truly, did you see them firing so many government workers? Did you ever see that coming?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
When they kept telling us they were going to do it. That's when I saw it. When they kept saying that. When they kept saying no, let me finish. They said no, they said that we're going to get rid of the Department of Education.
Right. I heard that part.
They said that we're going to get rid of, we're going to downsize Homeland Security. The only department they didn't touch in the campaign, one, the Pentagon.
And they're doing that.
It's one. And they're doing that. So, yes, I expected it. And is it still a shock to my system that you can have people devoid of empathy? I'm always shocked at my system. I'm always shocked. No matter how much I know history, I'm always shocked at the ability of humans to do what they do to humans. I'm always shocked. I'm shocked at people's ability to bring buildings down on babies. I'm shocked at people's ability to fire people knowing that their kids have surgery for cancer and you're going to cut off their health insurance. They might not have it in 30 days, like these people are coming up with these stories, and you don't care. I'm shocked. But I'm not shocked anymore by the personalities. And I think we keep centered. I'm shocked by Lutnick. I'm not shocked. I'm shocked that you don't have empathy. I'm shocked that you can compare your pain as a man worth $100 million with somebody who's only making 80 that's been there for 30 years, like the lady just came out today. She was due for retirement, a veteran, 32 years. But she got a promotion, and when you get a promotion, you go on a probationary status to get the promotion, and they fired her. I'm shocked at people's ability to be this inhumane.
It makes no sense to me, too. I did not know that you got it when you got a promotion. Your probationary period started all over.
For that new position, new position, and it's official, so they fired her.
See, this is the thing. I don't think anybody saw this coming when they came up with these civil service requirements and contracts and all that. Nobody thought somebody would do this shit, man. And you may say that Project 2025, it was in Project 2025. I have no doubt that it was in there. But to the extent of what they're doing, I don't think nobody saw that.
That's because you're human. I agree.
They talked about
that. That's because
they can't get rid of the Department of Education anyway. They can't do it.
Kenneth, that's because you are human. That's because you say to yourself, I cannot just pull somebody's safety net up under them for the sake of this all nilly-willy. The head of Dodge, is a racist asshole. He is punishing the people of Africa for what he's doing right now. When you say that you're going to take life-saving medicine, knowing that those people, or peanut butter paste, because there's a slaughter in Yemen right now that those people have nothing to do with, or droughts in Somalia, and you say I'm going to stop it, even though they just reinstated last week, according to the guy in outside of Macon who produces it, that is a personality trait. When you can get on TV, as the president did yesterday, and say, yeah, Putin is slamming them hard, knowing that you can say it, knowing that it's kids. And look, I'm very transparent. The Ukrainians ain't been no friends to black folks. Eastern European has not been friends to people who look like me. But I still can't get past the fact that his baby's been dropped, killed. That is a depravity, and that's what you have. You now have a Nazi as the deputy press secretary for the Pentagon. And that's their biggest problem. Their biggest problem, I promise you, I'm going to tell y'all this. Kenneth, you're an Army soldier. They have not figured out how to neutralize that 30% of the military that's black folk. Because if they tell those black folk in the military who are damn good soldiers, and when they get together, they move mountains, they're going to have a problem on their hands that they can't tolerate, and they leave themselves wide open to China, who ain't started a war in damn near 90 years and surpassing us. This is a personality trait, and he has filled that cabinet with people like him. We didn't even talk about the Zelensky thing. And the reason so many people got behind Zelensky in the White House, you and I both know this, we talk about this all the time, is because somebody finally stood up to his ass in public, live. Tell me you didn't feel that way about Zelensky. Here this man is here this man, you about to pull, and that man said, I don't give a damn, I'm still going to be a man. You're going to watch how you talk to me. I ain't going to sit here and just take it, particularly from some bitch-ass dude from Newsmax, who if I stood up, I slapped the taste out of his mouth. The only reason you talking that shit over there is because you got Secret Service in here. That's what Zelensky was thinking when the dude said, why aren't you wearing a suit? Zelensky really was sitting there thinking, boy, you lucky. Because if it was just me and you. So that Vaught said he's going to traumatize federal workers. That's what he said.
Well, that's what
maybe
he's doing.
Maybe he should feel what trauma feels like. Because I'm gonna tell you the thing that gets me, and I'm gonna let you finish it out. Remember when Biden won and they were trying to overthrow the election in Arizona? Remember that, Kenneth? Mm-hmm. And the Republican chairperson of the Senate, Rusty, what you call him, refused to overturn the election because the governor of Arizona kept saying, I ain't about to overthrow this election. The people voted. And they stood outside that man's house and harassed him while his daughter was in there dying of cancer. And they did that for like 90 days. These people harassed Rusty Bowers, that was his name, harassed that man while his daughter was in the house dying of cancer. Because he's a bigger man than me. Because I really believe that if you was you and Shantae was in the house dying, you would have came out and said, man, okay, you know what? Enough's enough. But one of y'all going to have to go. I'm going to have to damn give you a lesson. Because my daughter in her last moments, it should be peaceful. I don't give a damn how mad y'all are. I don't care how mad y'all are.
We have a problem in this country where people...
They not, Harriet.
The loudest people are the people that's wrong, the wrongest, basically. And that's just what we have. The loudest ones are the ones that are wrong. And I know wrongest is not a word. I do know that. But that basically describes it. They're the wrongest. And they're the loudest ones out there. We need to drown out their foolishness, their nonsense, their stupidity, their ignorance with some truth. And if we got to throw some lies out there too, damn it, throw the lies out there too. But we need to do that. We need to, as I said earlier, and I'm going to keep saying this. I told somebody this last night too. I said, every woman needs a motherfucker. America needs a motherfucker. And it's going to take people who look like you and I, Leonard, to do it. We need a motherfucker. So the Democratic Party needs to develop, encourage, and back a motherfucker. I don't know who it is, but that's what they need. That's exactly what they need. Somebody who just... You said, who is that? See, that's the thing. I don't know who it is, Marion. I don't know who it is. I don't know. It's got to be, it's probably somebody that's not even in any type of holding any type of national office.
Kenneth, let me say this.
Somebody from on the local level.
Let me say this. One of the things that the guy said last night, because I know we're running out of time. We're out of time. It's hard to find an MFer when it doesn't seem to be any cohesion behind it. And it's just like I was saying last night. There's no way that the leader of the Democratic Party caucus shows up in Atlanta and our 6 reps are not there with him. There's no way that he goes to Louisiana and the reps from Louisiana have Democratic shows. There's no way that he should go to Mississippi. But there he must go. And there's no way that Representative Joe Neguse from Colorado was the assistant Democratic leader. I don't need 2 nice Democratic leaders. Neguse needs to be that person. That's what your vice chair is supposed to be. The MFer.
Well,
right?
I'm gonna say this because the whip is the person that's supposed to basically their job is to whip the party in line in the House and in the Senate. I don't need Democratic leadership. I don't want a motherfucker to come from the Democratic leadership. I think a motherfuckers needs to come from somebody at the state level, and they elevate them and bring them into Congress. Get them elected. Get a motherfucker elected in Augusta, in whatever the congressional district down there. Get him elected there, and then let him come in and do that same thing that he did to get elected. That's what they need.
Why do you assume? This is not a funny question. I'm not getting on your case. Let me say that out first. Why do we assume that we have the time for that? Why do we assume?
Because, well, let's say this.
You assume we got a year.
Well, let's. The thing I'm saying is this: you have some agitators, sisters that are in there now.
Exactly. Exactly. And we live in a misogynistic country. And as much as those sisters are agitated, because I'm a firm believer, get behind them and protect them. They leading, let people know, under no circumstances are you going to threaten them. Under no circumstances you're going to threaten Jasmine. Or under no circumstances you're going to threaten Tom Corman. There's under no circumstances you're going to threaten AOC. I'm a firm believer in that. But I think that needs to come from a man.
The thing is, and this is the crazy thing about it.
No, I don't think so, Marion. I don't think so.
They don't mess with her. They may say one thing to her, she jump on them with both feet, with heels on, and they leave her alone. They have fucked around and found out that you don't fuck around with Jasmine Crockett.
I'm not worried. I'm more worried about
it's. I mean, I understand you talking about protecting them physically, but they need to. The guys that they have in Congress now, that's not their personalities. None of them. You don't have any pit bulls in. If they are there, they are very well hidden. And the stuff that Mike said earlier that praising Al Green for standing up.
Yes.
And
yes.
This is the thing with me. That was nothing, man. That wasn't that big of a deal. Now, they made it a bigger deal with the whole escorting him out and the censure and all that. But to be quite honest, he ain't really. I mean, what he said was significant, but his actions, what he actually did, standing up and saying, "Listen, man, nobody told you to do that. You don't have a mandate to do all that. Ain't nobody told you could do that." That was not that. In my opinion, wasn't that big of a deal where it's something that you got that everybody like he's some big radical. That's not that wasn't a radical move, in my opinion. A radical move would have been like, "Nah, motherfucker, you got to drag me out of here." That's radical. Or cussing him out. That's radical. He was very respectful. Now I understand what you're saying. That at least he's saying something. At least he's saying something. The rest of them need to say something. They need to be out there, man. They just need to be out there, having trying to explain away why you're being so inactive or being so, what's the word, anemic in your response to what Trump and his minions are doing, what Elon Musk and them are doing, that anemic response is not going to work, man. We don't need somebody that's going to be pacified. We need a motherfucker. I wish I had been in that church. Like, why you tell me about that, man?
I got a phone call from Dinah last night, and she's like, "Hey, I'm just walking out. I jumped in the car, went up there 10 minutes." And
man, I was around the corner from there.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I just found out you were around the corner. Did you see who was leading the charge for censure? The white team.
I was at the head last night, and then went over to Morehouse to watch a basketball game. So I was in the area.
I did not know that. I think that what we need to do right now, because we're out of time, is to say, Dinah asked me to do this last night. We need to, as somebody's cracked the joke and say, y'all have a conference call with 9 people every Saturday. When actually we normally get like 60 to 78 impressions. So people check in all the time. We need to start calling out congressmen and telling them, y'all need to be way more forceful. And you need to change the language. You need to change the language that the average person can understand. And we need to tell those Democratic reps who are male, y'all need to step out of your comfort zone. This is not the time to be in your comfort zone. And we need to call them all. We need to call their offices. We need to call Nikema Williams. People keep thinking I'm not picking on Nikema Williams. She comes to mind because she's my rep. I'm talking about Hank Johnson, Sanford Bishop. If it's existential, it's existential. We need to talk. If it's not, it's not. We need to get on here and talk to the second in charge. Hey, I don't know how you're gonna get on. Maybe you need to be on Rollins every week. Maybe you need to be on what's his name?
The head of the Democratic Party, National Party. He was on Rollins show.
Martin, wasn't it Ed Martin? What's his name? The new guy.
What his name?
I don't know. I've always got the impression that Deborah Wasserman Schultz, the impression I always got from her was that she ain't taking no shit.
Well, no, this is the guy who's
I know this is the new guy, right?
Yeah,
I didn't get that from Jamie Harrison, though. I never got the impression that Jamie Harrison protected me.
Harrison, he was so ineffective. It's ridiculous. In fact, he needs to pay his salary back.
Yeah, and even Perez, who got Biden helped Biden get elected. I never got the impression that he was right now, all I can think of is, man, you're in a knife fight. You're in a knife fight. And my only issue with your suggestion is I agree. I just don't know if we got that time. And I think he alluded to that last night. Diana can correct me. Last night, I think he said if we get to 2028. I'm like, what did he just say?
No, I'm not talking about 28. I'm talking about 26.
We got to get to 26. Right now, here's what I think they should do. Hear me out. This is what I think we should do. There are 2 seats down in Florida right now that I pulled up the information for. 2 seats. Gates' seats and Walsh's seat. That would, if you flip them, even in red, I think there's enough people in red districts that are pissed off right now. If you flip them, you're at 216 to 217.
Who did you say? Walsh and who else?
Gates and Walsh's seats are up. Special election.
That's Georgia?
Yeah. No, that's Florida. Gates and Walsh's seats are up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you need to flip. I think that what he should be doing and what they all should be doing is they should be laser-like focused on April 1st. The special election is April 1st, 3 weeks. Every last one of them, including the black folks in the Black Caucus, should be down there getting all those black people, as few as they are. I don't care if it's 20,000 of them. They need to get them at 80% to come out and vote.
But they need to, because it's about to be a special election because Sylvester Turner died the other day. So they got to make sure that, although Houston, that's a pretty safe.
That's what he said last night. He said that's a Democratic stronghold.
The question is who's going to be in there, and until they hold a special election, the earliest they probably hold a special election probably September, August, and maybe November. They may hold a primary.
It's state law, but we got 2 coming up in April. So if he wanted to say, he could have gave marching orders to say, I need y'all phone banking. That's the stuff I'm talking about. I need if for those of you that have the time to go down there and help these two, I need y'all to send them $5.
Do we know who's running?
I spent, yeah, we know who's running. They got a huge campaign going on right now. I'll send it to you. I'll make sure I send it to you. My bad. I'll send it to you. To a man and a woman trying to flip those seats. They've been asking for $5 donations. I think Marion sent them some money. Special election. And at some point, we're gonna have that. If it's existential, then let's do the work. So those who are on this call, y'all can look it up. Like I looked it up. You can volunteer to do phone banking. You can send some money. They have lists of African American voters in the area. It's a red district, no doubt. But some of these red districts are starting to feel this pain, right? Some of these red districts are feeling this pain, and they pissed. So now it's time for us to take advantage of it. So you want something?
We need to make it unpopular for people to support Trump in terms of politicians who support his policies. Just keep every day remind people, Donald Trump is the reason why your cousin lost his job, or that vet that you work, that's your neighbor that was working for the VA, and he only had 2 weeks to go before his probationary period ended.
Yep.
Well, Donald Trump is the reason why he's unemployed right now.
Yep.
Every day, the people who are working for these trying to get elected to these seats needs to remind the public of that every single day. Should not be a day should not go by where they don't mention that. Every press conference, every hour, that should be mentioned. Donald Trump is the reason why and I'll say this. I saw something this morning, actually, when I woke up. A guy had it on this thing. He said, who do y'all think is going to be the one to basically go after Musk person or something like that? Go after somebody personally. Who do you think basically he said, what demographic is it going to be? He said, what race, what age, and what state are they going to come from? And, everybody, of course, on there, because he's black, it's going to be a white dude in his 50s from Tennessee or this state, a red state. It's going to be a veteran. The ones that they need to watch out for is not you and I. Well, I'm a veteran myself, but not the average person. It's going to be a veteran that's going to go off on one of them. It's going to be a veteran that served a lot of years, is losing their benefits, had a job with the VA at the crisis line, because they can understand with somebody who has PTSD. I understand, brother, because I got it my damn self. I understand what you're going through. And they just lost their job. Now they're trying to figure out how they're going to feed their kids. That's who they need to worry about. That's the one that you need to worry about. Because those are the ones that's going to be hurt the most, and they're going to have basically a ready-made excuse. I have PTSD. And
he triggered it by damn near pushing me to homelessness.
Yeah.
Yep. Take us out. I got to be someplace at 12.
You always got to be someplace.
Yeah, I got a community event I got to go to.
Y'all, it was a good discussion today. Thank y'all for joining us. Oh, in case I'm in Atlanta because it's Alpha Regional Convention.
Cool. You can get up and scream to the top of your lungs and tell the Alphas to do something. Good. There you go. You need to see that last night. I need you to do that today.
They doing stuff. They just say you just said in that realm.
I need you to come tell us. You need to do it.
They're doing something. They actually get together and talk about what these steps need to be. They've been great. I meant to tell you that a couple of weeks ago.
I'm glad you did.
A D9 online meeting then as well. A couple of weeks ago. All of them.
Been on I've been on a lot of online meetings. I need to see some work on the ground.
So the let's just let y'all know. I can't hang like I used to, y'all. I barely made this show this morning. I barely made the show. Y'all should feel blessed right now because I'm supposed to still be asleep. I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
Boy, take us out.
But yeah, listen. Thank y'all for joining us. Oh, one more thing. Shout out to Tuskegee men's basketball and women's basketball team. They are literally both of them in the championship today. They both played Clark Atlanta last night. They both won, and today they're both in the championship. Men are playing Savannah State, and I can't remember who the women are playing. But
that's at Morehouse.
Yeah, they're at Morehouse. That's okay.
Championship. What time's the game start?
The girls is at 2. The boys is at 5.
Cool. Take us out.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go over there in a little bit. Anyway, y'all, it's been real. Y'all be safe. Have a good week. We'll see y'all next week. Deuces.
Peace, y'all. Talk to you later. Call your rep.